Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video, I'll be unboxing and doing a hands-on review of the Samsung Galaxy A21s. So guys, here's the box and here's some basic information. This phone is available both online and offline, and Samsung has priced it at 17,500 rupees. Comes only in one variant with 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. It's available in three colors, black, blue and white, and we have the white color with us right now. So that's the basic information, and the most highlighting thing about this phone would be its 48 megapixel camera, 5000 mAh battery and a 15 watts fast charging support. Well, you also get a display with a punch hole design. Well, except for these four things, rest of the things are pretty ordinary, I would say, and considering the previous A20 series, A20s or the A20, prices definitely bumped up quite a lot. Anyway, so without any further delays, let's have a quick physical overview of the box itself. So this is the new packaging or the new design. It's still in white with a cardboard box, and on the front we have a quick preview of how the phone looks on the front and back, along with the name at the bottom that says A21s, and we also got the Samsung branding at the top. On the left side we have the phone's complete name, that's the Samsung Galaxy A21s. On the right side it's plain, on the back completely flat. At the top we have IMEI numbers and some more specifications, and the same goes at the bottom. Now let's unbox it. By the way, this is not a review unit. I bought it from a friend, so it's already opened. Now once we open the box, we have a cardboard box underneath the lid. So let's see what we get inside. We get a SIM card ejector and some documentation. That's all. No free case, at least for this phone. Let me just put the phone aside for now. Next we have a 15 watts power adapter, followed by a USB Type-C charging cable. Yes, it's a USB Type-C, not a micro USB. So guys, these are all the contents of the box. Now let me just put everything aside and come back to the phone. So here's the phone in plastic wrapping. On the front it says Samsung Galaxy A21s. We have an Infinite O display, quad camera setup, and an in-display fingerprint scanner. On the back we have regular IMEI number stickers and some more specs. Let me remove these stickers as well. So guys, this is how the phone looks on the front, and this is how the phone looks on the back. Now let's have a physical overview. On the back, this phone has a 3D curve along with a white paint job underneath, which looks pretty clean. On the top left corner, we have the quad camera setup along with a single LED flash, followed by a fingerprint scanner, and at the bottom, we have the Samsung branding. On the front, we get a massive display with a punch hole design, protected by 2.5D curved glass. Above the display, it has the earpiece, and below the display, it's completely plain, and the chin is kinda big considering the price. Now for the sides, on the right side, it has the power and volume buttons. They are made of plastic, they have a clicky feel to them. I wish they were slightly more elevated. On the left side, it has just the SIM card tray housing 2 nano SIM slots, along with a dedicated SD card slot. At the top, it is just the secondary microphone for additional noise cancellation. Finally, at the bottom, it has a 3.5mm audio jack, followed by the USB Type-C charging port, primary microphone, and the speaker grill. Now this phone has a thickness of 8.9mm and weighs 192 grams. In hand, it doesn't feel all that heavy. It has a bit weight to it, but doesn't feel all that heavy. Weight distribution is pretty decent, and phone doesn't feel all that thick either. Now these are the complete specifications of this phone. On the rear, this phone has a quad camera setup with a 48 megapixel primary camera with f2.0 aperture, followed by an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with f2.2 aperture and 123-degree field of view, followed by a 2 megapixel macro camera with f2.4 aperture and a 2 megapixel depth sensor for taking portrait shots. For selfies, it has a 13 megapixel camera with f2.2 aperture. On the front, it has a 6.5-inch Infinity O display with HD+ resolution. Under the hood, it sports Samsung's Exynos 850 processor with Mali G52 GPU. It also packs in 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. On the software front, it will be running Samsung's skinned version of Android called One UI 2.0 based on Android 10. And this phone is powered by a massive 5000 mAh battery, supports fast charging, and comes with a 15 watts power adapter inside the box. So guys, those were the specifications. Now let me turn on the phone and set it up and come back to you in a second. So guys, this is how the phone looks once we turn it on and set it up. This is our default launcher, the same one we have been seeing on all the Samsung phones. You can do a swipe up or a swipe down gesture to open the app drawer, and these are all the applications that come pre-installed. There isn't a lot of bloatware, but there are some applications like all these that can be uninstalled. Now let's check out the storage information. So out of that 64 gigabytes of storage, we have about 47.6 gigabytes of space for our user apps and user data. And out of that 6 gigabytes of RAM, we have about 3.7 gigabytes of RAM free right out of the box. Now let's check out the about page, software information. So this phone is running One UI version 2.1 based on Android 10, and right out of the box, it is the July security patch, which is pretty decent. Now let's check out the camera interface. So here's the camera interface. By the way, this phone has a quad camera setup. That's a primary camera, wide angle camera, macro lens, and a depth sensor. So right now we are using the primary camera, and to switch to the wide angle camera we can use that toggle. And now you can also do a pinch to zoom gesture to switch between the cameras as well. Right over here is the shutter button. Just click it to take a picture, and you can press and hold it for burst shot. And you can also swipe it up to bring up the floating button. Now this floating button is exactly like the shutter button. You can place it anywhere and just click it to take a picture. And this floating button is especially useful while taking selfies. Just click it to take a selfie. Now to hide this floating button, just drag it down to the shutter button. Now on the left side we have the live focus mode, which is portrait mode for the rear camera, and we can also change the amount of background blur effect we want before taking a portrait shot. By the way, every time you take a portrait shot, make sure it says ready over here, otherwise you won't get a background blur effect. On the right side we have the regular video recording mode. This is just the basic video recording mode. We can record with the primary camera or even with the wide angle camera. And that's it. No major video related features. Finally, if we go to the more section, we have the macro mode over here. You can also drag and drop it over here and click save to rearrange this order. Now we have macro mode just beside the photo mode. Now this is the interface for the front camera, and every time we switch to the front camera, you see a cool animation near the front camera. Just like the previous Samsung phones, we have a toggler here. This is the cropped selfie, and this is the actual selfie. We are using the complete sensor now. On the left side we have the live focus mode for the front camera, that's portrait selfie, and once again we can change the amount of background blur effect we want using the slider. Next we have video recording for the front camera. It's the same old feature, there's nothing new to add to it. If we go to the more section, these are some additional features, and that's pretty much it when it comes to the camera related features. Now these are some sample shots. Now let's check the fingerprint scanner. I've already set it up. This phone has a fingerprint scanner on the back. Let's try it out. Fingerprint scanner is fast. It's just a bit hard to trace it with the finger, otherwise it's pretty fast. So guys, fingerprint scanner is super fast. It's probably not as fast as the Oppo and Vivo phones, but still it is pretty fast and usable. By the way, this phone has a pretty unique way of registering the fingerprint. Instead of just touching the fingerprint scanner, you need to swipe on it to register. I'll give you a quick preview. Let me add a new fingerprint. Now you need to swipe on the fingerprint scanner to add it. I'm just going to do that. This in fact is actually much faster than your regular registration process. Now it's done. So that's the fingerprint scanner. It works really well. Now let's test the face unlock feature. Once again, I've already set it up and it is pretty fast. Now let's test it in complete darkness. In low lighting conditions, it is kinda slow, but still pretty usable. So guys, that was the face unlock feature. Now let's test the speaker loudness. I've been flying from town to town, from So guys, that was the speaker loudness. Honestly, it's sufficient for ringtones, alarms and media consumption. I wish it was a bit more louder. So guys, this is the new Samsung Galaxy A21s. Well, the cameras are good, overall the phone gives you a pretty good vibe, but considering the price and the overall specifications, it just doesn't feel reasonable. Even if you consider phones in the offline market, this phone barely scratches the surface. With that said, if you're looking for something much cleaner in an offline market under 20,000 rupees, then you can probably consider this phone. It has pretty decent cameras, a pretty good fingerprint scanner, all the regular features work, and the user interface is definitely much more pleasing than other Chinese brands. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video. Let me know if this phone is worth the price. So guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks for watching. By the way, this footage is being recorded using the Samsung Galaxy A21s, and audio is from the phone itself, so you can check out the noise cancellation and stabilization offered by this phone. And if you're planning to buy this phone, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. If you have any questions about this phone or anything else, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off. Have a nice day.